tonight. Another MLA has crossed the floor, moving from the BC United Party to the BC Conservatives. Plus, with evacuation alerts and orders now rescinded, Barkerville is back open to the public, needing to make up for lost tourism time. And a basketball team from Hong Kong was in Prince George to play an exhibition game against a local U16 club team. Good evening, folks. I'm Eddie Huband, and welcome to CKPG News. Our top story tonight, the Prince George Courthouse was evacuated for a bomb threat earlier today, but RCMP have since confirmed that it was a false threat. Multiple roads were blocked off between 3rd and 2nd Avenue, between George Street and Queensway, but have since been reopened. There was also a heavy police presence. Prince George RCMP confirmed that 8 to 10 officers, alongside firefighters, sheriffs, and one of its K9 units, were on the scene, clearing people and traffic away. But RCMP confirmed the building and area is now safe.
We reopened the courthouse to resume normal activity around noon today. In total, it was just over 2 hours, nearly 2.5 hours, that we had everything shut down while the investigation was underway. But again, it was searched room by room with one of our K9 units, so we are confident that there is nothing suspicious or that is a potential threat to public safety within the building today.
BC United leader Kevin Falcon is losing another member of the legislature to the Conservative Party of BC. Adam Burles has more now on what this means for the province's political landscape, less than 90 days away from the provincial election.
It was another big day in BC politics Tuesday as yet another BC United MLA crossed the floor to join John Rustad's Conservative Party of BC. Teresa Watt, who was elected as a BC Liberal back in 2013 in the riding of Richmond Centre, says quitting the opposition BC United Party to join the Conservatives is the only path available for a free enterprise coalition to defeat the NDP in the fall election.
It's a big day. She is such an integral person in terms of all the work that she's done in the Chinese community, in the Taiwanese community, in the Hong Kong community, and I know she's respected by so many people. So it's wonderful to have somebody with her experience and abilities to be joining our party.
Teresa Watt had been named by political pundits as someone who might cross the floor a few months ago, but at the end of May, Watt clamped down on those rumors, but just under 2 months later, she defected to the Conservatives.
This was another major move for the BC Conservatives. This, political juggernaut, political tsunami, whatever you want to call it, it continues to keep moving, keep rolling for the BC Conservative Party.
Polling numbers released on Tuesday show the Conservatives closing the gap with the NDP just 3 points behind, and BC United is in last place with just 9%. Rustad says that despite the numbers, there is still a long way to go until the election.
We're talking about who we are as a party. We're building that grassroots movement, and I think it is being reflected in the polls. So we've got a long way to go yet. A lot of work still to be done to be able to form government, but I think we're well positioned to a challenge here for government come October.
With a couple of months left before the writ is dropped, there is a possibility that we could witness more changes on the political landscape, and nothing is out of the question.
Even in the last 2 or 3 months, things have changed so much in this BC political landscape. I wouldn't say no to anything because this momentum that the BC Conservative Party has in terms of popular support and people crossing the floor, and even BC United candidates dropping their candidacy for that party and running for the BC Conservative Party, it just keeps growing. And I wouldn't rule anything out at this point.
Adam Burles, CKPG News.
And with more on the ever-changing political landscape in BC, Adam Burles joins us now to break this all down. So, Adam, it's a difficult time for the BC United Party, but new development from the party this afternoon. What can you tell us?
So the development that we heard about this afternoon was in terms of the ballot. So what BC United is putting forward to Elections BC is that when you go into the voting booth in October, you will see the candidate's name, you will see the party, BC United, and then you will see in brackets, formerly BC Liberal Party. And why this is big for a couple of reasons is that it kind of suggests that maybe the branding hasn't worked out in the way that they had hoped. That indication in and of itself is not normal on an election ballot. You don't see you don't see on the NDP, you don't see formerly known as CCF. You just don't see that anymore. So
Right.
to have that on the ballot is quite shocking, and I wasn't expecting to see that to happen today, quite honestly.
And it's essentially, it could be grasping at straws for the BC United Party, trying anything that they can to kind of, I guess, get their name back out to people, the name that they changed. Yes, it's very strange. So you think it kind of signifies that maybe they're backtracking a little bit on the rebrand?
Yeah, I think it's definitely signals that, maybe the branding hasn't worked out quite as well as they had hoped. Going back to their old roots as the BC Liberal parties, which they won many elections with that title, and maybe people are still familiar with that brand, but it's been a while since the BC United brand was rolled out, over a year now, so the fact that it hasn't maybe connected with voters signals a deeper problem for BC United, just months away from a provincial election where they are not doing well in the polls as of right now.
Right, and right, trying their best to differ themselves from that Conservative Party.
Gain that support that they had as BC Liberals to
Right.
try and cross over right now as BC United, so we'll see if that works.
So is it shaping up, just quickly, is it looking like the Conservative Party could be the official opposition after the election?
Well, it's very likely. I mean, recent polling that was released just today from Research Company has the Conservatives within 3 points of the NDP at 38%. The NDP is currently at 41%, so posing a real threat to David Eby and the governing party. So we have to see, again, like I've always mentioned, the only poll that matters is the one that is on election day. But the BC Conservatives do have a good shot at becoming opposition because the BC United Party is currently in single digits right now. They've got a lot of work to do in a very little amount of time.
And still lots of time before the election. More
Absolutely.
people could be crossing the floor.
There's a chance of more
Right.
more floor crossing, more defection. So it's going to be a matter of waiting and seeing who's going to be next.
Right. All right, Adam Burles, thank you very much for that report, as always. Both the Emergency Management Minister and the Forest Minister of BC held a briefing this afternoon. As mentioned, there are just under 350 fires burning in BC, 6 of which are fires of note. There are 1,500 BC wildfire personnel working those fires. Now, the cool, wet weather has helped to put a damper on many of the fires, helping crews put them to rest. But images of Jasper still haunt fire officials in BC, and there are words of praise for those who lent a hand in Jasper.
I want to, again, thank all of those communities, businesses, and people who stepped up in a big way to help evacuees feel welcome in such an uncertain time. From Valemont, McBride, Prince George Barrier, Clearwater, and Kamloops, people, community leaders, and businesses came together to support our friends and our neighbors from Jasper.
The images from Jasper are heartbreaking, and I want to thank all the crews and emergency responders who worked day and night to save homes and businesses. BC communities were able to send fire engines and crews from the towns of Valemont, McBride, Beaverley, and Quesnel to help protect buildings in the Jasper Township, which is still encircled by fire. I want to thank those fire departments who answered the call and immediately mobilized to support our neighbors.
And some good news on the wildfire front. The evacuation alerts and orders were lifted for many of the communities in the region. And for some, it's normally the busiest season for tourists. Places like Barkerville are not wasting time reopening their doors, albeit in a modified form. Cheryl Jan has the latest on plans after reopening.
It's back to business for Barkerville. They will be opening their doors to the public this Friday, days after an evacuation alert was lifted for that community and wells next door.
I think it's exciting. It was exciting to say we can open again. Barkerville has a history of fire. In our history, we've experienced fire before, from the devastation in the 1800s. And so, I'm fortunate. We're happy that we're not rising from the ashes again, as they had to happen way back when. And we can't say enough about the support the BC Wildfire gave to Barkerville.
Once the Antler Creek fire began to creep uncomfortably close to the heritage site that is Barkerville, the BC Wildfire Service began a campaign to create a moisture dome over that community. And despite the amount of water that doused all of those structures, there was little damage either from fire or water, remarkably.
We were fortunate that it appears there was minimal damage. The sprinklers did their job. Might have been some embers that got ignited in some parts of town, but there was nothing of any significance that they were aware of. But
Meanwhile, Tourism Prince George is pleased to hear Barkerville is reopening, and it is also trying to invigorate the summer season.
Our messaging hasn't really changed this summer. Like, we've been open for business. We want to make sure that our stakeholders here locally are getting the support that they need because this is their busy season for them. So, it's really important, coming out of COVID. I know we talk about that endlessly, but, this is still a time where these businesses and these organizations are trying to build back up.
The reopening of Barkerville, though, will be modified. It will be keeping its campgrounds, cottages and guest houses closed for the time being, with tentative plans to reopen bookings in mid-August. In the meantime, it may be a little too early to determine the financial implications of the fire season on its operations.
we were on our way to, last year we exceeded 30,000 guests. We were on our way, we thought, to well over 40,000 plus this year. We could see that was going on. So I think it's difficult at this point to project what the total impacts will be for the year.
Barkerville has made the difficult decision to postpone its special events in August to next year, specifically the Indigenous Peoples celebration slated for August 17th and the Chinese Mid-Autumn Moon Festival on August 24th. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
Effective at noon on Thursday, August 1st, the Campfire Ban will be lifted for the Prince George and Northwest fire centers. The BC Wildfire Service says that although fire danger ratings have dropped due to the recent rain and cooler temps, the public is still reminded to exercise caution. Avoid having a campfire when it's windy, and don't leave a campfire unattended for any amount of time. Fire danger is constantly being measured, and campfire prohibitions may return in either region if conditions change. The prohibition for Category 2 and 3 open fires do remain in effect. Halfway through 2024, the BC Coroner's Service says 1,158 British Columbians have lost their lives due to drug-related overdose. Now, this is the lowest death toll in 4 years, and it's less than half the deaths 2023 saw at this time. The Northern Interior continues to have the highest rates of deaths per 100,000 people. Prince George specifically saw 68 deaths, down from last year's number of 91. While lower numbers are certainly promising, Minister of Health, Addictions, Jennifer Whiteside, notes that still more than 6 deaths a day, and she says the government will continue to take action to hopefully save more lives. Artemis Gold has provided an update on second quarter construction progress at the Blackwater mine. Artemis says that the project remains fully funded on budget. Construction is estimated to be 87% complete at the end of June 2024, and the project is on schedule for the first gold pour in the fourth quarter of 2024. $650 million out of a budget of $750 million has been spent so far. Artemis says equipment installation was a key focus area for quarter 2, and by the end of the third quarter, the company expects to have the transmission line complete, ready for the first gold pour. If you're looking to shed a little bit of extra poundage this summer, you might want to add something extra to your home gym, and the TRX may be a great option for you. I know it is for me. Sam Bennison has more on this week's To Your Health.
And now To Your Health, brought to you by Hard Drugs, 3rd Avenue Pharmacy, and the Phoenix Pharmacy.
Finding new additions to your home gym comes with many challenges, especially if you need to conserve space in an apartment. However, this simple military invention can activate every part of your body and stores up small. It is the TRX.
It can be set up anywhere you have a very solid surface, and also the ones you get for the home often come with a door anchor, so you can anchor it right into your doorways.
TRX stands for Total Body Resistant Exercise. But how does it work? Here's how Katie explains it.
In order to use it properly, you're always working at an angle, so you're always using physics. So therefore, you're using all of your intrinsic tiny muscles to hold yourself upright. So when you're using dumbbells, all you're doing is just sort of curling and that's it. But when you're using the dumbbells on the TRX, you're leaned back. So you're actually using your core as well as your upper body to do all the work.
If you're just getting started, Katie has a few suggestions for some exercises that you can try.
Start with the basics. So you could start with your squats and your lunges and hamstring curls. You can do bicep curls, triceps, chest presses, rows. That's just your basic, and then you can go up from there.
And if the sun is shining and you want to exercise outdoors, the TRX is the perfect tool as it was designed for Army travel.
Because it's so lightweight, it can fit in a backpack and they can strap it around a tree, so that way they always have access to fitness and strength training wherever they go.
If you want to try out a TRX before you buy one, The Prince George YMCA BC does have some, with their classes starting back up in September. Sam Benison, CKPG News.
To Your Health. Brought to you by Hard Drugs, 3rd Avenue Pharmacy, and the Phoenix Pharmacy.
The lowest gas price in Prince George is currently sitting at $1.71.9 per liter at Costco. The lowest price in the province right now is in Chilliwack at $1.58.9 per liter. Manitoba currently has the lowest fuel prices on average in the country at $1.51.8 per liter, while BC has an average price of $1.77.6 per liter.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit domino's.ca to join the club.
A youth international exhibition basketball game took place today as a team from Hong Kong took on a local club, the Northern Bounce, for the first time ever. Tommy Osborne was at the game and brings us more.
Prince George Basketball Club Northern Bounce's U16 Black team welcomed the Triple-Double Basketball Academy U16 team from Hong Kong into the community, as an exhibition game was held at Cedars Christian School.
It's a great experience for me and also my team. We get to see some new faces, new opponents, which are much better, stronger, and more physical. And I think it's like a great chance to improve our game as well.
For Koo and most of his teammates, it was their first time in the country, and he said he loves how friendly the people are here, along with Canadian food and our weather, as he says it's not too hot, unlike Hong Kong.
Canada is a great country, and I hope to maybe study university here as well.
This collaboration came together because Nathan Yu, TDBA's director and head coach, grew up in Prince George, and his brother Jordan started Northern Bounce. Beyond the basketball benefits, Yu adds traveling to Canada has been a fantastic cultural opportunity.
My kids live in a city of 7 million people that, there's not a lot of trees, not a lot of grass there, so I think it's been a great experience for them just to see nature. Even driving to practice, driving to a lake on the weekend, we saw a deer, and that really opened up their eyes,
The hosts also definitely enjoyed the chance to play against new opponents and a new style.
Seeing other cultures, seeing how they play the game of basketball, seeing their competitive levels and how they play basketball compared to how we play basketball is really impressive, how they run it.
We can compare it to ours. Over there, I feel like they're definitely more skilled as guards, but I feel like they don't have size, but guards-wise, I think they're really good.
Maybe some of these boys will come to the university here now that they've seen Prince George, Maybe some of our guys will go to Asia and meet up. Who knows where those relationships go? And that's the benefit of having some of these events where we bring people from outside our community into the north to experience it.
Even though Northern Bounce took a decisive 78-59 victory, the experience for both sides was certainly a memorable one, and plans are already being made for Prince George to travel to Hong Kong next summer. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
Good evening, everybody. Some rain on the way for us in Prince George. That's the bulk of what you'll be seeing here with the weather before it does begin to warm up, and we should be in store for a beautiful BC day-long weekend. So take a look at your satellite shot here. There you can kind of see that system moving in. You'll see it even better here on the Futurecast as there was some of the rain we saw today, and there's that system forming off the coast and coming towards us, and we'll be dumping that precipitation over top of us tomorrow before Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We see nothing but sunshine here in Prince George. So highs for tomorrow, rain in 19 for us here in Prince George, 16 in Terrace, 20 in Fort St. John, 19 for Valemont. As we come into the broadcast region, 19 for us again. Quesnel 21, McBride 22 degrees, Vanderhoof sitting at 19 as well. Fort St. James 19, Mackenzie 19 as well. Taking you quickly across the country this hour, 24 for Vancouver is where they will get to tomorrow. Regina at 30, Winnipeg 29. Toronto back into the 30-degree mark, in Halifax, more rain for them. They've been seeing a lot of rain as of late, 25 degrees for those in Halifax. So this is what's going to come after the rain on Wednesday. It's a heating trend that's beginning to form down south of the border and push up into the BC interior and then push up towards us here in Prince George, which will bring some lovely temperatures and maybe some camping weather for us for BC Day. So your extended forecast here as we get into the Burns Lake area, 11 degrees and showers overnight. Some more showers tomorrow before it will begin to warm up. 23, 27, 28, 27, 25. The rest of the way, those overnight lows nice and chilly. May actually need to get an extra cover out. 2 degrees overnight on Thursday in the Burns Lake area, but some nice daytime highs to kind of level you out. 10 degrees, partly cloudy tonight in Mackenzie, and then an 88% chance of rain tomorrow with 19 degrees as their high. Let's not leave out the rest for Mackenzie. 26, 27, 24 for their weekend ahead, with those overnight lows dipping down to around the 10-degree mark. Now, McBride, it's your turn. 60% chance of rain tonight. 10 degrees is where you'll be. Then with that system moving through on Wednesday, an 84% chance of showers tomorrow with a 22-degree high, and then 33, 32, 25 as that warming trend begins on Thursday and through the weekend for you. Some more clouds maybe for BC Day Monday. Quesnel, 12 degrees overnight tonight, and the rain's coming tomorrow just like everywhere else in the broadcast region at 21. And then again begins to warm up with 29, 31, and 29 for your weekend ahead. And for us here in the Prince George area, 12 degrees and partly cloudy tonight. Tomorrow, there's that 86% chance of precipitation, 19 degrees as the high, 7 for your low. And then from there, nothing but sun and clouds the rest of the way. 24 degrees, 26, 28, 27, and 26. A beautiful BC Day long weekend ahead for those of us here in the Prince George area, with those overnight lows getting just low enough to kind of let that heat escape and allow us to cool off just a little bit.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit domino's.ca to join the club.
An update now on Canada at the Summer Games, as the men's basketball team, who has high hopes for a medal, earned their second straight win to open the preliminary round. Canada took down Australia this morning with a 93-83 victory. RJ Barrett of the Toronto Raptors led the way with a big 24-point game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Dylan Brooks each chipped in with 16 points of their own. Australia was led by Josh Giddey, who had 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, but he was kept at bay for most of this game after an impressive 10-point first quarter. So Canada starts the tournament 2-0. They'll look to remain undefeated when they finish up group play against Spain. That one goes on Friday at 8:15 a.m. Pacific. And with the Olympics in full swing, let's take a look at the medal situation. As of 4:30 this afternoon, Canada was in 9th place with 6 total medals, so not much change from last night. Most notably today, they did earn a silver medal in women's rugby sevens, as their Cinderella run ended in the gold medal game, falling to New Zealand. Top 5 in the count. Japan leads the way, followed by China. Australia has moved into 3rd place. They've been jockeying with France, who now sits in 4th, with Korea rounding out the top 5. It was a rough day to be an MLB pitcher yesterday, as home runs were flying left and right. And we bring you the biggest hits and the best baseball action in tonight's CKP3.
Starting off with Guerrero Jr. dominance.
Really come now. He tattoos that ball to center. Cowser back. That ball is gone. Right on cue. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. makes it 7-4.
In the doubleheader against the Orioles, Guerrero Jr. put on a batting clinic. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 16 total bases, and 7 for 10. Can't get much better than that. The series continues as the Jays are currently taking on the Orioles right now in the 4-game series. Next up, welcome to New York.
High fly ball, deep left, going back Hayes on the track at the wall. See ya! Chisholm's first Yankee home run.
Shortly after being traded, Jazz Chisholm immediately makes the Yankees move look smart, as he blasts 2 homers in a blowout win over the Phillies. His second homer was actually courtesy of Aaron Judge's bat. Perhaps Judge should get a half a home run added to his league-leading stats? Finally, more multi-home run games.
He bombs away, deep left field, and goodbye. Jose Ramirez with his 31st career home run against the Detroit Tigers makes it 4-0 Cleveland.
No doubt on these 2 homers for Jose Ramirez, who blasted these balls deep in the same spot. These punctuated a fantastic day at the plate for Ramirez, who went 3 for 4 and 3 RBIs to power the Guardians to an 8-4 win over the Tigers in tonight's CKP3.
That's our show for now, folks. Thanks for joining us as always. Look forward to seeing you at that ludicrous concert tonight, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great night.